Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it is time for my February 2023 vinyl haul. Lots to show this month. I went a little overboard. I sold a few high-priced items that I had in my collection that were collecting dust and used that money to buy all sorts of good stuff. Let's start though with new releases and reissues that had come out that I picked up. We'll start here with Turn, Turn, Turn. New Rays from an Old Sun. This is a local Minnesota band. Absolutely fantastic. I bought their debut album a couple years back, and this is their follow-up, and it is just as good as the debut, if not better. Fantastic stuff. If you haven't heard them and you like the Laurel Canyon vibe of the late 60s, that's kind of what they go for here, and they do really well, and it's absolutely just great music. This is a gatefold, black vinyl. Fantastic stuff. Turn, Turn, Turn. You can find it on, I believe, Bandcamp. Just look up Turn, Turn, Turn MLPS for Minneapolis. MPLS, sorry. MPLS. And you'll find them there, or their Facebook page, or wherever else they are selling these. I got mine at my local record store since they're a local band. But highly, highly recommend Turn, Turn, Turn. New Rays from an Old Sun. Next up, this is one I've been waiting on. This album came out, I believe, in October, but it finally got pressed to vinyl and released in the beginning of February. This is The Motion Epic's newest album, Deep in the Heart of America. I've said it before, I've mentioned these guys many times on my videos. They're just fantastic. If you like that 80s synth wave type sound, these guys capture it perfectly. They're phenomenal. Absolutely love them. Out of California, I believe, and just an awesome band. I've got everything they've put out on vinyl so far and never been disappointed. It really gets you in a good mood with listening to this music. And if you're like me and grew up a lot in the 80s and 90s, it really gives you that nostalgic feel when listening to it. So highly recommend anything by The Motion Epic. It's a fantastic new album from them, Deep in the Heart of America. Next up, we got my girl Shania putting out a brand new album, Queen of Me. Fantastic stuff. Her last album Now was pretty good, but not, classic Shania. This is more of that in-your-face Shania that we're used to. I really enjoyed listening to this album, and I think you will too. Shania Twain, Queen of Me. Super happy to have picked that up. Here's what I was pretty excited about. This is a live show from Carly Simon that was never put out on anything but, I believe, VHS or DVD back in the day. But this is Carly Simon live at Grand Central. They digitally remastered everything from the original tapes, and it sounds fantastic. It's a great live set from Carly. Just awesome listen, and super happy to have picked it up and glad that they put this out on vinyl. It sounds great. It's also available on CD and I believe a Blu-ray edition of the concert. This one I saw at Target and thought I'd pick it up. I recently got my first album from the band and enjoyed it. Thought this is the one everyone else recommended. I get second. I brought it to the cash register and they put it out too early, so they wouldn't let me buy it until the following Friday. So I went back and picked it up on Friday. This is the Grateful Dead's American Beauty, Target exclusive on this kind of like a lime, I think they call it limeade vinyl. Sounds great. Really enjoy listening to this too. So Grateful Dead. It's my second Dead album, if you don't count the Dylan and the Dead album I have. Here's one I pre-ordered right away when it was first announced and super excited to get it. This band is blues, soul, everything rock put into one. I saw them open for Blackberry Smoke back in 2017, and slowly they've been reissuing their back catalog on vinyl, and I've been getting every one as they come out. This is J.J. Grey and the Mofro. Some of them are under the title Mofro, and this is called Country Ghetto. It's a fantastic album. They did a great job. I just bought the black vinyl pressing. You can also, I believe, get a yellow vinyl pressing directly from their website if you so choose. Great stuff. Recommend them. Check them out. Bluesy soul music. Just great stuff. They are awesome live. And yeah, caused me to start buying their stuff. All right, these last three didn't even know these were coming out. I saw someone post one, and I was like, whoa, where did you get that? And Urban Outfitters, of course, has been going through and releasing some of these classic pop records, starting with the Britney Spears stuff, and now they finally put out the Jessica Simpson catalog, at least the first three. We got here, this is Sweet Kisses, her first album, and this one comes on a nice hot pink vinyl. Then we got Irresistible, her second album, on a translucent green vinyl. And last but not least, we have her third album, In the Skin. And this one comes on a translucent blue with a 7-inch that has Take Your Breath Away and Angel on it, or Angels on it. Fantastic. It's really cool that they include that 7-inch in there. She does a great cover of Take My Breath Away if you've never heard it. Super excited to have these on vinyl. I've listened to Sweet Kisses so far, and it sounds great. I can't wait to listen to the other two. These just arrived, so super excited about that. Let's get into soundtracks next. So some cool soundtracks have come out from Waxworks and Mondo. I'm going to show you here. Really excited about. Let's start with Waxworks. If you're like me and grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you remember watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon and then the motion pictures that came out. Well, they've reissued their vinyl soundtracks, and I couldn't be more excited about it. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie soundtrack. This one is called on Turtle Mask Splatter vinyl. So you get this really cool vinyl there. And just fantastic job. New artwork from the illustrator Kevin Eastman. Put new artwork on these, and they sound fantastic. It's really kind of fun nostalgia to listen to some of this and remember them from the movies, because I grew up and I watched the movies for sure. Then there's Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and this one is really cool. I'll show you the wax on this one. Side A, this is called Shredder, Super Shredder, and side B is called Turtle Brawl. So how cool is that? Completely different splatter on A and B. I'm not sure how they did that, but it looks just awesome. So that's Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. And then they also put out the Ninja Turtles 3 soundtrack. Now, this is the only one I don't actually remember watching. I may have, but I'd have to go back and revisit because I don't recall watching a Ninja Turtles 3 movie. But this is the vinyl for that. This one comes on, they call it a Time Scepter vinyl. So that's the kind of color there. So very cool. Waxworks did a great job on these. They all sound absolutely fantastic, and it's kind of cool to get those. Next up, Mondo finally released in the United States the soundtrack to the movie The Batman. This is the latest Batman movie starring Rob Pattinson, and music by Michael Giacchino. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize. Does a lot of soundtracks, but this is really good. If you like that dark, brooding music and all that, it fills this. It's a 3-record set. It's absolutely fantastic. The only thing I wish is they put it in a gatefold instead of trifold. I get it with 3 vinyl records, but I've seen it done where you can put 2 of them in one sleeve and 1 in the other. Otherwise, I just don't have a good way to sleeve these. This thing is stretched to the max, and there's no good trifold sleeves out there to use, unfortunately. But that's my only complaint. Really cool OB sticker here on the side. Just did a really great job with this. Super excited to have that in my collection. And the last soundtrack also comes from Mondo. I finally completed my, what's available on vinyl at least, Halloween soundtracks with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. If you know, you know. This movie is the one that just doesn't fit into the Halloween story. Has nothing to do with Michael Myers. This one comes on the Eco Wax, they call it. Green wax there. And good stuff. It comes with all sorts of goodies inside. I won't pull them out right now, but it's pretty cool. I'm very happy to have this and finish my collection of the Halloween soundtracks, which I believe is 1 through 5 that they put out on vinyl so far. Hopefully we'll see 6 and some of the later movies as well come out. I, of course, have the most recent adaptations of Halloween, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends on vinyl as well. All right, so that's soundtracks. Here's some of the other stuff I picked up that doesn't fall into any particular category. We'll start with these. If you've not watched the last several months of videos, I've been getting into the Austin City Limits shows, or as they call them, Live in Austin, Texas series that New West has been putting back out on vinyl. I picked up a few more of those. We'll start with Merle Haggard, Live in Texas. So this is his second album from the series. Fantastic. This one, of course, has Okie from Muskogee on it. The other one did not. I also picked up Johnny Cash, Live in Austin, Texas. This one's really good, too. Black and white cover on this one. Sounds absolutely great. And then I picked up the other Waylon Jennings. This one, I believe, is Waylon Jennings 84. And this one came on a really cool splatter vinyl. Really happy to have that one as well. This one I picked up on recommendation from a gentleman in one of the Facebook groups I'm in. Really enjoys this artist. Didn't know what to really expect on this. I was not expecting what I got, which is for sure. But this is Ko Wetzel and his album Sellout. It is kind of like if you took like a Jason Isbell type vibe and put rock and roll behind it, and hard rock and roll behind it. That's kind of what you're getting out of this one. So, was not expecting that. I was expecting a outlaw country type stuff, and no, definitely a hard rock country album, I guess you would call it. But good, nonetheless. I added to my Enough's Enough collection by bringing in this one. This one is called Welcome to Blue Island. This was released recently on a reissue. I finally got a chance to pick it up. Fantastic, comes on blue vinyl, sounds really good. And this one I just recently picked up. This is Dissonance album. I believe it's 2008 or 9 this one came out. One of the last ones with Donnie V on vocals. This one comes on a green vinyl. Another one I picked up on recommendation. I've of course heard the artist before, really enjoyed. This is his brand new album from Keb Mo. This is called Good to Be, and this one is absolutely fantastic. It sounds amazing, great sound quality, and just a really fun one. Darius Rucker guest appears on this one in one of the tracks. But if you've never heard Keb Mo, really good country blues artist, phenomenal voice, phenomenal guitar playing. Just enjoy it and pick this up. This is a great one. Good to Be, Keb Mo. I found this for 40% off its normal price, so I decided to grab it. This is Metallica's S&M 2. Yeah, I've never really listened to the S&M stuff. I picked up number 1 recently, and it's good, and so I decided to grab number 2. It's not my favorite thing in the world to listen to, but sometimes it just captures you, and they do a phenomenal job on this with the orchestras, and so I'm looking forward to giving that a spin as well. I also picked up an Eric Church album. This is 61 Days in Church. There's a series of these. I believe they have 12 volumes. This is volume 2, and on this is mostly cover tunes. There's a bunch of them that have a bunch of his songs on them, a bunch of different covers on them. They're all over the place, but in all, I believe there's 12 volumes of it. This is the only one I have so far, volume 2. I'll probably be looking to add a couple more to my collection as well. And last but not least, in this section, we have The Black Crowes By My Side. This is an unofficial pressing. They haven't pressed this one on vinyl in a long time, and it costs a fortune to get it. So this one I got because it has a little bit of a split on the top there. I got it for dirt cheap. So I decided to pick it up to kind of be a nice placeholder and listen to this album when I want to for the time being. And hopefully, the Black Crowes will reissue this one on vinyl. They've done all the other ones in their catalog, but just not this one for some reason. So we'll see. Good to have that one though. All right, and now for the main event. Anyone who's been watching my channel the last several months knows I've been slowly collecting Japanese pressings of albums. They're almost always original pressings, and they sound really good. They're nice, quiet wax, always pressed on virgin vinyl, and somehow The way they do their pressings in Japan is different from the rest of the world, and they're able to somehow bring fidelity out that the other presses don't seem to have. Not always, but in many cases they sound better than the original US pressings and European pressings as well. So I've been slowly replacing some of my favorite albums with Japanese versions of the albums, and some of them not always my favorite albums, but really good deal arises. I tend to pick it up if I like the album itself. We'll start here with Van Halen's Diver Down. It's another one of the David Lee Roth albums that I've picked up with Obi strips. I have a few of the David Lee Roths, and I also have a couple of the Sammy Hagar albums that are available with Obi strips. Very excited always to add Van Halen into the collection. My Night Ranger collection is growing again here. This is Midnight Madness. So I now have, I believe, 4 of the 5 Night Ranger albums that have Obis available. This one has a cap Obi, as you can see, it sits on the top there. And this one's really cool because it has the hype sticker, but it also has what most of them never are able to come or find or get, the booklet that came with it. And so this makes this one a little bit rarer in the sense that most of them you find do not have this booklet with them. So pretty cool. Plus it's in shrink and has the hype sticker, so an added bonus there. So kind of cool little piece to the collection. Just a phenomenal album. This one is Can Still Rock in America. Big hit off of there. Let's see. Yeah, Still Rock in America is the biggest one off this, but really good Night Ranger album. This one came to me at, I couldn't pass up the deal that I got on this one, and I really wanted to get this in my collection because I just love this album. This is Bruce Hornsby and The Range, The Way It Is. Just fantastic. It's got a nice pink Obi strip there. Sounds really killer, so super happy to add that one in. I'm working on getting my trifecta of Eric Clapton, Phil Collins collaboration albums. Of course, he put out 3 in the 80s, Behind the Sun, August, and Journeyman. I have Behind the Sun, and now I've added August to the collection. Just need to find me a copy of Journeyman next. Very exciting. This one I picked up, and not really sure why I did, but I did. I sold my old copy, my US pressing of this, and didn't know why I decided. I think I thought it was a different one than it was, but anyway, this is Queensryche. This is their self-titled EP. It's good, just not one of the albums I typically go to. I think, you know, I picked it up. It'll go in the collection, and maybe that one will go on the selling block at some point. Pick this one up for nostalgia. Inner Space, the movie soundtrack. With this one cost me, I think, $6, so couldn't pass that up. But really cool. I don't know if you saw the movie. I did as a kid, and I always thought it was interesting and funny. So why not have the soundtrack in my collection as well? Bob Dylan's Empire Burlesque. Picked this one up on vinyl Japanese pressing with Obi strip. Got this one for dirt cheap as well. Couldn't pass that up. I'm really excited about this one, Elvis Costello's Punch the Clock. This is a great Elvis Costello on the Attractions album, and to get it, my copy is a little beat up, so I was happy to replace it with this Japanese pressing and add it to my collection as well. This one I wanted, I've been trying to get forever, finally was able to pick it up. Heart's self-titled album, great Heart album. And These Dreams was the big hit off of this one, and this is one of my favorites of theirs. So happy to put that in my collection as well. Got this one because why not? Can't pass it up. This is Men at Work. Business as Usual. Cool white color cover instead of the typical yellow that we see. And really neat Obi strip on there as well. Pick that one up. Let's get into Kiss. Oh man. When I originally got into Kiss back in the 90s, I had never really listened to them a whole lot. And then one day I just decided to pick up a Kiss album. And then after that, I started buying every Kiss album I could find. And this is on CD back in the day. And I became a fan of Kiss because of that. Now I'm in vinyl. And I've got several of the Kiss albums on vinyl. And for some reason, I can't stop myself from picking up Japanese pressings of Kiss vinyl. So now I'm just balls to the wall going after whatever I can find and complete the collection, because I've already started. We'll start with a couple that I got that don't have obi strips, but they were Japanese pressings, and because they didn't have obi strips, I got them for a killer price. And we'll start with Dynasty. So here's Dynasty. No obi strip, but it is the Japanese pressing. And looking forward to, I have a buddy who's creating some replica obis for me to put on there. And they will say replica on them, so no one will ever confuse them for a real thing. But wanted to give them that nice obi look anyway. Same for this one, double platinum. This thing has just the worst cover ever. I mean, it looks cool, sure, but dang, it gets fingerprints all over, it gets crap all over, it's mirrored. It just, I wish they would have given it a matte finish instead. So, but anyway, I got this one. It does come with the insert, but no obi strip. And I don't have this album in American press or Japanese press, so when I got it, the price I paid for it is the typical price you pay for an American pressing, so why not? I picked up Hotter Than Hell with a nice obi strip here. We got Rock and Roll Over, obi strip. This one's really nice. This is a Japan and Europe and Mexico. This was never released in the United States. This is Killers. It's a compilation album. There are 4 brand new tracks, at the time, brand new tracks, included on this one that weren't ever released on any other Kiss album. So that was pretty cool. And here's the nice pink obi strip. Happy to have that in my collection. One of my favorite, and what I think is a very underrated Kiss album. I think it has a lot of the leftovers from Dynasty's type sound, and which I know turned a lot of Kiss fans off with that disco-y sound, but I love this album. I think it's fantastic. Unmasked by Kiss, obi strip here. And lastly from Kiss, I picked up Crazy Nights. I got a hell of a deal on this one, and I don't even know why. I think because it originally came with multiple items and inserts, and all I think I got on this one was the obi strip, and it's got 2 inserts in there. So I don't know. I got a good deal, I thought, on this. It's typically a pretty higher priced Kiss album on Japanese vinyl, but I'll take it. All right, a couple more I added to my collection. How about Motley Crue? Again, these ones didn't have obis, so I got really good deals on these. I got Too Fast for Love, and man, this sounds so much better than my reissue copy that I have of it. So super happy to have this on vinyl. And I also picked up Girls, Girls, Girls. Again, I'll have a couple of replica obi strips coming to give it the real Japanese feel and look, but really great price on this because it was missing that obi strip. And man, I have the 30th anniversary pressing, the one that came on the blue and black splatter type, I guess blue and black swirl vinyl. I compared these two, and man, they did an awesome job on that 30th anniversary. They sound pretty close. I do give a little bit of an edge to this one because the vocals, I think, are a little more out front on it, and the guitars sound a little crisper on this one, but they did a phenomenal job on that. I was pretty impressed by because I've heard some of the later reissues and they're just not as good. So if you don't want to go for an OG or a Japanese pressing, that 30th anniversary pressing sounds killer. All right, this one I'm super excited about, and I have another one coming in from this band that'll be a part of next month's haul, but damn, super pumped to get this. Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In, Japanese pressing. This one comes with a cap obi. I did not have it, so again, I got a real nice discount on this one, and super pumped. The cool part about this, and I don't believe this came with the U.S. pressings or any of the other pressings, but check this out. This comes with a cool poster of the band. How neat is that? Perfect. It's in perfect condition. Not a pinhole, not a crease, nothing. That thing is just mint. And so super pumped to add this to my Poison collection. Poison, if you don't know, is one of my all-time favorites. I was a pop music fan, top 40 guy growing up, and I got introduced to Poison and AC/DC between my 6th and 7th grade years, and I became huge fans of both those bands because of that. They were really the groups that introduced me to that harder rock metal scene, and so they've always been my favorites. So super happy to have that. Check this one out, guys. I'm pretty sure I did not show this before, but if I did, I apologize. Cinderella, Lawn Cold Winter, one of my favorite, probably my favorite Cinderella album, and Obi Strip, super pumped. It sounds so good. I have an OG press of this, US, and a MOV press of this, and I will give the edge every time to this Japanese pressing. Just sounds so good. All right, the last two albums I'm going to show are number 1 and number 2 for the most money I ever paid for any piece of vinyl ever, not including box sets and, you know, triple albums and things like that. But being a huge AC/DC fan, I have been collecting United States original pressings, 2003 remaster pressings, any kind of foreign pressing that's different. So you got the Australian High Voltage, the Australian TNT, the Australian Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, the UK High Voltage. Those have different songs and covers. I'm currently in process of picking up a UK Power Edge, which has a different track listing, and I'm still on the hunt for the Australian Highway to Hell, which I don't know if I'll ever get that one because it's so expensive now. It has the Flames cover instead of the standard cover, and also looking for the UK pressing of Let There Be Rock, which also has a different track listing than the United States presses. But I've also then started collecting the Japanese pressings of AC/DC albums, and these two are super hard to find, and they are pretty expensive when you do. So I was in a live sale on one of the groups I am in that does Japanese. It's called Japanese Obi Froggy Vinyl. You can look him up. Tony does that, and he sells really hard to get sometimes stuff. Prices can be high, prices can be low, prices can be all over the place. So you really have to pay attention and know what you're bidding on and know where you can find it at. These I've never seen on any of the Japanese live sales or anything that I've done, especially in the condition they're in and with the Obi strips. You can find a lot of these all day without the Obi strips, and they'll still cost you a fortune. So I'm super excited to show that I picked up my favorite AC/DC album of all time, Power Edge with Obi strip and insert as well. This is a complete Power Edge album. This was the most expensive album I've ever bought as far as it goes. Still not what I've seen other people pay, but for me, pretty expensive album. And then 20 minutes later, this one popped up, AC/DC Highway to Hell, and this one then became the most expensive album I ever bought. Awesome stuff. These sound killer. Insert Obi strip. Everything is minty fresh on this one, and boy, it sounds awesome. Super excited to have these. There are only 2 AC/DC Japanese pressings that I'm still needing to pick up. The first one is Let There Be Rock. Very hard to find, especially with an Obi strip, and it's pretty expensive without. I'm scared to think of what it would cost me with an Obi strip, but being my favorite band, that's one I'm willing to pay for to get. And then Who Made Who is the other one. I don't have Who Made Who with an Obi strip. I'm pretty sure it came out with one. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it did because Blow Up Your Video, which came out afterwards, did have a Obi strip, and I do have that one. So if I can get those 2, I will have all of the Japanese pressings of AC/DC albums with Obi strips that were released, because after 1989, 90, slowly everything switched over to CDs in Japan, and that's kind of where all the rest of the AC/DC albums went. So there you go. That is my February 2023 vinyl haul. Really a lot of stuff. Thank you for making it this far. This is a long video. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Tell me what you liked from there that I picked up. Let me know what your favorites are in the comments below. Love interacting with the vinyl community. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.